ever notice how after you've missed a few days or your routine gets thrown off a bit, you tell yourself, I'll just start again on Monday. And for a moment, that feels good, like you've got a plan again. But a week later, you're resetting all over again. Same intention, same reset, same frustration. And here's the part most people don't see. Sometimes you're not even starting over. You're just tweaking things, adjusting, trying to get it right. And it still doesn't move you forward. So if you feel like you keep starting over, but you're never really getting anywhere, this is exactly what we're going to unpack today. If you've been telling yourself it's fine, but deep down you know something needs to change, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Pursue Your Spark podcast, and I'm your host, Heike Yates. This is a show for the in-between seasons of midlife, where we uncover the habits and comfort zones keeping you stuck and move you towards strength and action without forcing a reinvention. And here is what I see happening a lot, especially in midlife. It's not that you're doing anything wrong, although I hear it over and over from women telling me, I must do something wrong because it's not working. You're just trying to get back on track in midlife, using an approach that used to work in a life that doesn't look the same anymore. You used to have more control over your schedule. Work has picked up, or suddenly now you're the caregiver of your parents and you have grandchildren like I have. And suddenly the time I have for myself has really shrunk. And sometimes I feel myself being pulled in so many different directions. Or you may have decided that you can do this, but the follow through is not the way it used to be, that you said, okay, I'm going to go for my run every day. And it just doesn't happen for all kinds of reasons. Or another good example is that you have everything on your schedule, you know what to do, you have it planned, but you constantly get interrupted by, again, being pulled away from your plan, your schedule, by things that just keep popping up, like another emergency meeting, or you have to pick up the kids from school. Wherever you are in your life at this point, you just get interrupted. And it's not something that you had planned for. And suddenly you also might be juggling more than you used to. And I like to go back to the example of the caregiving and the grandkids. Before, there were no grandkids, which they're so amazing and so lovely, but they weren't there. But you want to spend time with them and enjoy the time with them. You want to also cater to your parents and help them because they helped you all your life. But it's sometimes more than you can handle because you also want to see your friends. You also want to spend time with your partner, and you want to do the things that you want to do as well. You're trying to get back on track the way you used to. But your life doesn't work that way anymore. So when things get thrown off, starting over feels like the right move because that's what we've always done. But that reset, it is actually what keeps interrupting your progress. And this is where building consistency in midlife starts to feel harder. Because you did it before and you think you can do it again. And you basically keep banging your head against the wall thinking, what am I doing wrong? And you keep telling yourself, I'll start fresh next week, because it always sounds like a good plan. Or the other one I hear often is, let me just get back on track first. And that never works because that delays the action-taking part. And I'm at the Pursue Your Spark podcast, and at Pursue Your Spark, we're all about taking action. And the let me get back on track first, or let me wait till I get back from the vacation. Let me wait till life calms down. Let me wait till whatever happens in your life. And nothing ever happens because you wait, you keep delaying. You may think about rewriting your workout plan again. So you said, okay, I've got this workout plan and it has worked before and I'm going to tweak it again. And for the bazillionth time, you look at that workout plan and it just never happens. You tweaked it and it still doesn't get done. Or you may say, okay, I don't like my workout plan. I am researching a better routine. And you do all the research and you use ChatGPT and you use your best friend and you use a coach and you work on that routine and it becomes really amazing routine. But you spend so much time doing the research instead of taking action on that routine. Or you reorganize your week before starting. I'm all about organization and reorganizing things so I have clarity and I know where things are going. But in the end, if you keep reorganizing, again, nothing happens. You're sitting stuck in the same gap, in the same in-between space that you have been sitting all along, and you're frustrated and you feel like less than, and you shouldn't feel that way. So reorganizing is also something that is driving people to where we're not taking action. Or you may be thinking, this time I do it all right. The inner perfectionism. And perfectionism, and I've talked about this before, is the one of the things, not just the one thing, but one of the things that is holding us so back, it's not even funny. Perfectionism, there's no such thing as perfect. And when people come to me to Pilates and do Pilates sessions, and they say, Heike, I want to do it perfectly today. And I just start laughing. Not because I don't take them seriously, but I start laughing because even Joseph Pilates, who is the inventor of the Pilates method, said, we're striving for the ideal. And the ideal is different for everybody. He didn't talk about doing things perfectly in a class or in your workout. So it's time to give up all those things that are holding us back. You spend more time adjusting the plan than you actually doing the plan. And whether you're starting over or trying to get it right before you continue, you most likely are starting in the same place. You haven't moved the needle at all at this point. You're just refining. You're trying to do better. And this do-over is really keeping you stuck. You're doing a lot of things right. You're trying to stay active, making better choices, showing up when you can, and still it feels like it's not going anywhere. That's the part no one talks about. It's not that you're not trying. It's what you're doing that isn't building into something that you can sustain. So you keep putting in effort without seeing it really add up. That's not a discipline problem. It's a strategy problem. And the way we approach this is probably not what you expect. Inside the Pursue Your Spark Blueprint, we focus on building momentum in a way that actually fits your life with weekly momentum calls so you have support along the way. You can join anytime. And if something in this is resonating, don't ignore it. I'll leave a link in the show notes for you to check out the blueprint. And this is where it really starts to affect you personally. Your constant starting over, your constant resetting, where nothing moves. You never get past the first few days because then, if you would see me, I would do air quotes, you fall off the wagon again for some of the things I mentioned before. And you feel like you're not cut out for this. Or you hesitate to commit. Hey, what's the point? I can't follow through. I always fall off the wagon. I never do it. I feel less than. Why can't I do it? I used to do that. So all this doubt creeps in. And you feel like you're always trying again and again. And so you feel like nothing ever was good enough to keep you moving because it worked before, or you were in a program where it promised you that you will get results. You got the results, and then it stopped. The program stopped, the results stopped, and you stopped. You didn't continue with what's going on, with what you wanted to achieve. And one really important thing, guys, is you stop trusting yourself. You question yourself, and I see it so many times. Self-trust is undermined by this always trying again, always starting over. You start to wonder, maybe it's just me? And you keep trying, but it never really settles. And it's not because you're not capable. We know so much. We have so much knowledge gathered all over those years, experiences that we know, plans that we've done. It's because you never get the chance to build any real rhythm or momentum. This is why consistency feels so hard in midlife. You keep telling yourself, I need more discipline. I just need to stay on track. And you're hard on yourself when you really don't need to be. And you miss a few days and then you restart. You don't like how it went. You change everything. It's not that you fall off. It's that you reset instead of continuing, instead of learning from the process of what doesn't work right now anymore for your life. You think of, oh, if I start again, it will be different. And I can think of so many diet examples that go with this where people said, oh, and I just talked about this the other day. If you're around my age, you know the cabbage soup diet. Oh my God, it was the hit everywhere. So eat cabbage soup for days in the hopes that you will lose weight. Of course, you lose weight in the first couple of days because you're changing your eating pattern and you mostly eat cabbage and soup. But then, and you may have also a little bit of diarrhea because of it. So you're losing weight, which is mainly water. But then you think, okay, I can eat cabbage soup for the rest of my life. But that's not the truth. You do it for a week and then you're so sick of it. And you're like, oh my God, I can't see any more cabbage ever. And the weight keeps coming back. And you do the soup diet again. And the same thing happens. And we must learn that we don't need to keep starting over. We don't need a better plan. I have to say, though, that if you're thinking of weight training, you want to change your workouts every 6 weeks. But that's a different approach, a different mindset. It's not because it didn't work, but you need a refresher. You're saying, I've done my workout and I need a new plan now because I've owned those exercises. I've done them 3 to 4 times a week and I see progress. And now I need to move on. And also another story comes to mind. One of my clients that I wrote a plan for just for her to choose. She can do it on the side when we're not working in our group. And she comes back and she says, the plan's not working. I said, why is it not working? She says, well, I don't know. I haven't really done the workouts. So I said, and that means it's not working? And she said, yeah, because I haven't done it. And I say, well, it's not working because you haven't done it and you're not going to do it. So I'm not going to write you a new plan, which is what you wanted. And I said, go and do what I wrote for you because I know you. I know your time limits and time constraints. I know your lifestyle and I know what will fit for you. Do it at least for 2 weeks. And I have to be sad to say, we've never talked about it. She never asked again, but it was not time to get something new. And it's also that every time you reset, you interrupt your own progress. And so it's not a consistency problem. It is a pattern of interruption and starting over that actually keeps us stuck. And I also talk about this in my book, Pursue Your Spark. So grab a copy, whether a soft copy, a ebook, or the audio version for all my busy ladies here, and read up on it. So here's my challenge to you. What if the goal isn't to get back on track? What if the goal is to stay on track, even when things don't go perfectly? You are not waiting for Monday to start over. You're not fixing everything first before you start. You don't need the perfect week to get started. Even if this week didn't go how you planned, you do not have to restart it. You don't build consistency by resetting. You build consistency by continuing, no matter how messy it is. And we're always about taking action here at Pursue Your Spark. So here's what this can look like in your real life. Let's say you missed 3 workouts. Do today's workout. Don't think about the other 3 that you missed over the last week or the last 2 weeks. Do one today. Pick one of my 15-minute workouts and go for it. Or do whatever you normally do that you haven't done. Do one of those today. That's a big win. You didn't eat how you planned. You were busy. You couldn't grab healthy foods. You're on the run. You take takeout. Plan your next meal now. Go to your fridge, look at it, and see what you can make out of it. And that's what I did the other day. I took some stuff out of the freezer, and then I had some leftover vegetables, and I cut up some stuff up, and I just made like a stir fry. It was super simple. I just grabbed everything and seasoned it with salt and pepper and some olive oil, and that was it. And I didn't overthink it. So stop overthinking things. If you have a really busy week and none of this is working for you so far, go out, take a 10-minute walk. You can listen to this episode while you're walking. Did you know that? I do a lot of listening while I walk to just catch up and listen to my books. But you can listen to this episode. If your routine fell apart in your mind and you're like, man, the whole thing fell apart, just pick one thing from the routine. If you have a resistance training routine where part of it is to do squats and lunges and side steps, all lower body exercises, pick one of them instead of all of them. You can always do squats while waiting for your tea to steam or your coffee to brew, or even while you're on the phone with somebody. Do a lunge or more, of course, not just one, but do a set of lunges, do a set of squats, just to use this as an example to spark your imagination. Nothing fancy. Nothing is perfect, just the next step. Instead of asking, what do I need to fix? Ask, what is the next step I can take right now without starting over? Oh man, I can't wait to hear from you, to get back to me and tell me. So no reset, just continue. Reach out to me at heike@heikeyates.com and tell me, what was your next step? Can't wait to hear from you. Before you leave, I would love it if you could leave a review on the Apple Podcast for the Pursue Your Spark podcast and share this episode with someone else you know will benefit from listening to it. And in the next episode, we're diving into midlife anxiety, body trust, and how to feel steady again without adding more pressure. I can't wait to see you there.